what really happened that night. The most documented military UFO encounter in UK history, December 26, 1980, RAF Woodbridge, Suffolk. It wasn't a crash. It wasn't a hoax. But on a cold night in December 1980, U.S. Air Force personnel at a top-secret NATO base saw something they still can't explain. Lights that darted between trees. A metallic object on the forest floor. Silent, glowing, then gone. One officer touched it. Another recorded it on tape. And the UK government. They tried to bury it. This is the Rendlesham Forest incident. Not a myth. Not a legend. This is a documented military encounter with an unidentified aerial phenomenon. And today, we're telling the truth, exactly as it happened. The setting, a nuclear alert base in rural England, RAF Woodbridge, and RAF Bentwaters were U.S. Air Force bases in Suffolk, home to F-111 bombers capable of carrying nuclear weapons. Security was extreme. The perimeter was patrolled 24/7. So when, in the early hours of December 26, 1980, Security Patrol John Burroughs saw strange lights moving through the forest, he didn't assume it was a downed aircraft. He radioed his sergeant. "Sir, there's something in the woods. It's not from this world." Command didn't believe him until two separate teams saw the same thing. That's when they sent in Sergeant Jim Penniston. The encounter. It was made of a smooth, black material. Jim Penniston, a trained Air Force investigator, led the team into the forest. What he saw was not a crashed craft. It was resting on the ground, silent, about 20 feet wide, triangular in shape, with smooth black surfaces. Penniston described it as not hot, not vibrating, just there. He approached and touched it. It was warm. The surface had symbols, like hieroglyphs, and when I touched one, it lit up. Then, without sound or exhaust, the object rose slowly, passed between the trees, without breaking a single branch, and vanished into the sky. No crash, no debris, but physical traces were left behind. 3 depressions in the ground, forming a triangle, broken tree branches, bent downward as if something had landed, and elevated radiation levels detected days later by MOD scientists. The after effects, radiation, dreams, and a suppressed report. After the encounter, Penniston began having intense dreams of the symbols, of flying, of being shown information. He later said it was like data was being uploaded. In 2003, he drew the symbols from memory. Researchers found patterns resembling binary code, but no match to any known language. And the radiation. A follow-up team from the UK Ministry of Defence scanned the site on January 13th, 1981. They recorded alpha radiation levels 10 times higher than normal, unusual for a forest floor. The report, signed by Group Captain K. McCasland, confirmed radiation levels were elevated at the site of the reported landing. Yet, the MOD later claimed the incident was likely a misidentified lighthouse. But a lighthouse doesn't leave radiation or symbols on metal. The second night, Charles Halt's tape, real-time proof. 2 nights later, December 28th, 1980, it returned. This time, Deputy Base Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, led a team into the forest with a tape recorder. The result, the Halt Tape, one of the most important pieces of UFO evidence in history. On it, you can hear Halt saying, "There's a bright red light in the sky. It's moving in ways no aircraft can. Beeps as the object changes position. A beam of light shooting down into the trees." And Halt, stunned. "It's passing right over us. I can feel the heat." Halt filed a formal report to the UK Ministry of Defence. It was stamped secret, not to be released to the public. In 2001, he told the BBC, "I'm a trained investigator. I know what I saw. That was not of this world. New evidence. What the files reveal." For years, the MOD dismissed Rendlesham as a lighthouse illusion or a prank. But in 2001, they released a memo from a senior officer. "We are unable to explain the Rendlesham incident." In 2013, more files were declassified, including radar logs from RAF Bentwaters. They show an unidentified target entering UK airspace that night, moving at high speed, then stopping completely. No known aircraft can do that. And in 2020, a former RAF technician came forward anonymously. He said, "We recovered samples from the site, metal that didn't match any known alloy. It was flown to the U.S. under armed guard." Another source claimed the symbols were studied by U.S. intelligence, but no results were ever released. The cover-up. Why they don't want you to know. So why the silence? Because Rendlesham wasn't just a sighting. It was a close-range visual encounter, a physical interaction. Penniston touched the craft. Radiation traces, a military commander's audio recording, and a classified MOD report. This wasn't a weather balloon. It wasn't Venus. It was something that landed, interacted, and left evidence. Yet, in 2009, the MOD officially closed its UFO unit, saying, "No UFO sighting has presented a threat to national security." But if it wasn't a threat, why classify the files? Why silence the witnesses? Why remove the original tapes from the base archives? Final words. The truth is in the evidence. Rendlesham Forest is quiet today, but the truth, it's not in the trees. It's in the tape recordings, in the radiation reports, in the words of men who served, and in the files the government doesn't want you to see. This wasn't a crash, but it was a landing. A silent, precise, intelligent visit, witnessed by trained military personnel. And until the full truth is released, we're left with one undeniable fact. Something landed in Rendlesham Forest, and it wasn't ours. What do you think it was? Comment below. Subscribe, like, share. I'm Paraphylax. Next, the UK's secret UAP task force. What they're hiding,